All right, thank you, Celia, for joining me today. My name is Mark Werchnig, and today we're going to go over advanced booking techniques and also some basic modifications you can do in a reservation within Travel Impressions. So, to start off, you should be familiar with your Book Now area right here within Travel Impressions. We're going to focus more underneath our search button. There's advanced search and multiple destinations. Let's go ahead and click on advanced search real quick. A couple of the reasons why you would use this screens are for you have your filters. You have flight filter options and hotel options as well here. And we'll go over reasons to use both of them. So let's just plug in some information here. I'm just going to put in, let's do Houston to Cancun real quick. Let's say they want to go for 7 nights for airfare. So you can come down here. If you click on flights, you're able to expand your flight filters. You can select by airline, cabin preference, number of stops, etc. I always just use the filters within the booking tool, but you can pre-select it here. VAX automatically will shop by price. So that will match up class as a service for a specific price point, and it only gives you so many options that will come back in availability in VAX. There are going to be times where you might see an airline's website, like maybe United, where you see flights available on their site, but they're not pulling in on VAX. If you click the shop by schedule option, you'll be able to see more availability. Also within the shop by schedule option, you do have the option to select specific classes of service if you want. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Also, under your hotel options here, you can search for a specific hotel name. I don't recommend that because if the hotel's not available, it'll give you an error message and not even take you to the next screen to select any hotel options. So I use my filters within the search engine tool once we get to the next page. But what you can do is you might get customers that are looking to offset their hotel. So we have 7 nights for airfare. Maybe they only need a hotel for 5 nights or 4 nights. And you can change that over fairly easy by changing your check-in or check-out date. So maybe they need to check in on the 17th. Just change to the check-in, check-out date that you need. And then once we hit search, we'll get into the next page where you can select your components. So it'll just take a few moments while that pulls up for me. All right, come on, computer, let's go. There we go. So this screen looks a little bit different. So this is the shop by schedule screen. You have basic filters on the left-hand side, but what you can do is use your filters up here. So if you click on carrier name, it'll alphabetize it from A to Z. If you click on it twice, it'll be Z to A. If you click on departs, earliest departure to latest departure. Or if you click on it twice, it'll be latest to earliest. Arrives, same thing, earliest arrival to latest arrival. If you double click it, it'll be latest to earliest. Or you can click on stops layovers and you'll get 0 stops, 1 stops, 2 stops. So you have your option here to select best price if you want to. Or if you expand your class as a service, this is great for when you're doing a price match against a competitor, because a lot of times we're going to require the class of service. And how it reads is like a book, top to bottom, left to right. So J as in John is going to be your most expensive class of service, down to N as in Nancy, which is your least expensive.
Your most expensive is J and your least is N?
Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of airlines, you might see a Y is in yellow class of service. I'll highlight that right here. That's going to be your most expensive economy ticket. So anything left of your Y as in Yankee class of service is upgraded fares, business class or first class. So for,
K ticket, you know,
what was that? I'm sorry.
a K ticket.
Oh, they're, as far as like the class of service,
Yeah, so everything below Y is going to be economy.
everything to the right of Y is economy.
Oh, okay.
And you'll be able to see the amount of seats that are available left in that class of service. So obviously, if you have two people, you're not going to be able to book two in L's and Larry class. So right here, K as in King and G as in George have 0, so you're not going to be able to use those. So just for example, let's go ahead and hit T. T as in Tom. Once you select that, you're going to go to your return flight. You can expand that, look for your class as a service. So I'm just going to match up T as in Tom. And now you would price your selected flights, or you can hit clear selected flights, which means just go back in here and change over to the flights that you want. All right, not able to price. Let's try something else. I've been having problems with United recently, so let's try something. Let's try American. Not worried about the flight time.
So right there where there's a connection, there's two legs on the flight. They said, and this is going to be my example. They didn't want you to go from like right there, Houston to Dallas on just regular economy because it's an hour flight. But then from Dallas to Cancun, they wanted to go first class or business class because it's a 4-hour flight. Would I be able to change the ticket?
You sure can.
Could I do that?
You sure can.
Oh.
So I'm having issues here pricing stuff in this tool, so let's see if I can get something to pull. All right, nothing's working at this point for it, so let's back out of here. So let me go here and do shop by price. So shop by schedule, that's how you look at the class as a service. I just wanted to show you how that looks. Unfortunately, I'm having errors, so I can't really go any further than that. So let's do shop by price. So we're going back to kind of the main page. I had 7 nights airfare, 5 nights hotel. So my apologies with that not working. All right, so let's get our availability to pull up. All right, so I'm just going to select a random hotel real quick. Not too worried about the hotel, but you have your filters on your left-hand side. One thing to keep in mind, all of our brands, we do offer a basic economy fare. So you will see a basic economy fare show up in red with a messaging.
Yes, I am familiar with that, and I like to be able to see it because then when my clients when I show them the both prices and I show them it's $100 more, but then when I explain to them, you know, what they're getting for $100 less, then they're like, oh no, go ahead and upgrade. So I like to be able to see that. Like I like it.
Excellent. So you can filter those out if you want to. Down here. So you can have this show or you can hide them. Whichever you prefer.
Okay.
So let's just do this American bulk fare. Not too concerned about the flights. All right, so we have our flights, the 15th of July through the 22nd, hotel the 17th through the 22nd. Let's say you forget to offset your hotel from that initial search page. Don't worry, you can actually do it within your hotel screen. We would just go to hotels, like you're selecting a new hotel or a different room category. And when you scroll down, you have your filters on your left-hand side. If you scroll down a little bit further, it'll be an area that says additional search items. From here, you can just use the calendar and offset your dates. And then hit search. And once you hit search, it will update your hotels only. It'll leave your flights alone. So, awesome. So yeah, don't worry if you ever forget that. So great. Not many people know about that extra one.
Yeah, no, I have somewhere they're going for a week, but they're staying 2 days or 3 days with family, and then the rest of the day they want to take off and have a luxurious vacation.
Yep, it's quite popular actually nowadays, where people have that, or like with when Anthony was talking about Groups Your Way, how if it's a destination wedding, that bride and groom may get a 2-night return stay offer. So same thing, you would just offset your hotel dates, last those 2 nights.
Yeah.
So that's offsetting your hotels from your air dates and also looking at the shop by schedule option. Let's go into multi-stop. Multi-stop can be a little overwhelming if you look at it as a whole, because you could get 4, 5, 6 different destinations and how many different features on here. If you just look at it as like okay, wow, I have 6 destinations, I need all of this stuff, it could get overwhelming. So let's break it down to the easiest way that I will know how to tell you. Just look at it from point to point. So we're going to go under multiple destinations right here. Would you like me to go to Europe or go out to Hawaii?
You can do Europe.
All right.
You can do going into Manchester, and then because I just quoted this last time. Let's see. But if the right person, you want me to give you the example, the live example?
We can do that.
Okay. With one of those. Between from Los Angeles to Manchester.
What were the dates?
July. Let me check real quick. July the 10th.
All right. How many nights in Manchester?
3.
All right.
And then they're going to be taking the train to Paris. They don't need a flight.
Perfect. How many nights in Paris?
3.
All right.
And they only need a hotel.
Perfect. And then were they doing anything else after that?
No.
And well, this is pretty much my sample itinerary I always do, just to show the rail option from London to Paris. So also in your multiple destination tool, you can do an open jaw booking. So that's leaving one city, going back to a different city. So let's say your passengers... We can do that too. Just remove your original city, put in a new city.
That's open jaw?
That's an open jaw ticket, yep.
Okay.
And so now from here, you have your options that you can use for your flights, etc. Let's go ahead and hit search. Manchester, the flights might be a little interesting. So let's wait for this to pull up. And anytime you're in the advanced search page and also multiple destinations, it does take a little bit longer for the inventory to pull because we're pulling so much more inventory. There we go. It's thinking. All right. So you're going to select your flights. So does it matter for you what I select? All right, so let's do this Delta one. Anytime you see something in red, that means next day arrival.
Yes.
So we want to make sure, especially with Europe, South Pacific, depending on where you're flying from, maybe Hawaii, that on those next day arrivals, if you say 3 nights, does that mean 3 full nights? Or is it going to be because of that next day arrival, you're cutting it down to 2? So just keep an eye out for that. So let's hit select. And then we're going to select our return flight. We'll just keep that here. If you did keep that original flight from Manchester over to Paris on here and you forgot to remove it, you'd be able to remove it here. There will be an X button right next to that flight. So now you would go ahead, select the hotel that you choose, and then features. The thing I really always point out is making that Europe reservation with the rail is how to book the rail. So rail is going to be under features. And right here, we have rail. So
yeah, I saw it yesterday. It was so expensive because when I went on to see, it's only like 92 euros when you buy it on the Eurostar train or whatever. Is this just because of the brand of the rail?
This isn't the Eurostar because that only goes from London. So this is a 4-day pass.
Okay.
So if you wanted the actual Eurostar, we could, if they're going from Manchester to London, we might have to put that under our Paris features.
Or it might show it in Paris features?
Yes. So let's pull that up. Let's filter our rail options there. So here's our Eurostar London to Paris. This is for 2 people. You have the option of peak or off peak. And you would select your date. So if we are arriving to Paris on the 14th, chances are that's probably what we're going to do. And let's do off peak. Oh, come on. Come on. Yep, it'll say between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. So we're going to add that to your cart.
But that's per person, right? There's no prices for one.
This is total. And I personally have never been on this train, but I would love to because I heard it goes underwater.
Yeah, it does. It's supposed to go under.
I think that'd be pretty neat. All right, so after you select all your features and everything like that, you're going to go ahead and hit checkout and proceed to make your reservation. The one thing I want to show is with that rail option that might hold people up from making a reservation or putting it on hold is how you have to book those rail options. So you're going to go down. I'm going to decline the travel protection right now. Put in your names as it is on the passport. Automatically, under your special service requests, your add-on requests will drop down. Anytime you see a red asterisk, that means that's information that's needed to make a reservation. So because this is off-peak, it's between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., you're going to put the preferred time. So if they want 11:15 a.m., put an 11:15 a.m. And what will happen is, once we book those tickets, we will get as close to that 11:15 as we can. Maybe there's an 11:20 or 11:05. Maybe they run only every half hour, so it might be an 11 o'clock because that 11:30 is sold out. So whatever the closest time to the preferred time, we'll book for you. And now you would be able to actually proceed and make your reservation.
So I'll get that actual time for the train a little bit later.
Yeah, you can do a little bit later if you want.
No, I'm saying that will be on the because the actual time will be on my travel documents. Is that what happens?
You'll get a separate confirmation.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because we don't book the tickets until the reservation's paid in full. Because those tickets are non-refundable once we book them. So once we have the full payments, we will go ahead, book the tickets. You'll get a separate confirmation for that.
Okay.
So if we go back to just the main search page for multi-stop, the trick is looking at everything like destination to destination. So we had Manchester, England for destination 1. We figured out what we want for our components, the hotel, no rental car. Destination 2, you're going to look at the same way. Okay, I'm in destination 1. How am I going to get to destination 2? Do you need the flight? Yes or no? In this case, we did not choose the flight. All right, so we figured out how we're going to get to that destination. What do we need in that destination? Do we need a hotel? Yes or no? Rental car? Yes or no? So you're just going to keep doing that for every destination that you have. That breaks things down, makes things a lot easier for you. So it looks like you played around with the multiple destination function already.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the booking system. It's just little, like I didn't know, I had a problem with a client. They're actually leaving on Tuesday. They really, really wanted me to get them a first class ticket for one leg. They went from here to Munich, from Chicago to Munich.
Mm-hmm.
So the flight has to be legs on it. And so after I did the booking, I tried to just call and upgrade the one leg. First, they gave me a price that was totally outrageous, like $2,500 per person for that one leg. And then when I tried calling again to check again on pricing, they told me it was not possible. And I'm like, well, they priced it for me before. But now I know actually how to go in ahead and just select it that way from the beginning. And on the ticket,
Yeah.
like, is there like a real instruction? How do I know what each letter represents? Is there like a little key grid or something? Or is that just something that I'm just going to have to learn in another training? How do I know about that?
Well, there's really nothing out there that'll say anything. Obviously, if it's business economy, it'll tell you business economy. If it's regular economy, it'll tell you just economy.
Right, but how do I know what letter represents what? Like, if I hover over it, will it tell me? Or
no, it won't.
I won't know until I actually select it and run it.
You won't know until you actually select it.
Okay.
Because every airline has a different class of service for economy and business and basic economy and everything like that. But once you start playing around with it a little bit more, you'll understand which classes of service are what. One thing to kind of mention is if you're looking to upgrade just like maybe a portion of a flight to like a business or first, sometimes they have to change the class of service of that other segment. Not because, let's say you had a V as in Victor class of service. Well, sometimes that V as in Victor class of service doesn't price with a business fare or a first class fare, so they might have to change that V as in Victor to a K as in King. So,
Yeah, I figured that too. I think they don't allow you to upgrade numbers or tickets either.
yeah, so it's tricky to explain, and that may be what the person was doing. They didn't know that first leg they had to reprice to a different fare, to a different class of service. Sometimes if you do that, if you do a round trip ticket maybe in the business or first, it may be only like $100 more compared to what you're looking at
Yeah.
from just that one segment upgrade. So it's always good to just ask all the questions. So by chance, do you do cruises at all?
I'm sorry?
Do you do cruises?
Yes, I do lots of cruises.
All right. So let's go into something called a pre and a post cruise. It's going to be under your multiple destination function. So even though Travel Impressions doesn't sell cruises, you can get everything else outside of that cruise for your customers within Travel Impressions. You can get their flights. You can get their pre and a post night hotel stay. Any features that they want. Offer that travel protection because, cruises don't always go. And then you'll get your commission on that package. And it's pretty simple to book too. So let's do a Caribbean cruise, let's say. So I'm just gonna go, let's go JFK, Caribbean cruise, and they're leaving from Miami. So let's just pick some dates. So your first destination is a pre-night stay. So for me, I'm gonna select one night, but you can select however many nights you want. Maybe they want a longer stay in Miami or their pre-stay destination before they hop on their cruise. I'm going to remove my rental car because I don't want the rental car for this thing. Destination 2 will be your cruise. So let's say I'm just going to put in Jamaica. Doesn't matter the destination because you're going to see why in a minute. If it's a 10-night cruise, you're going to put in the number of nights for your cruise that you want. And now from here, you're going to deselect all your components. So it's just a blank destination for 10 nights. We'll click on add.
Okay, yeah, I have some questions on that. So I'm going to do one destination, I'm going to add another destination, but leave it blank.
Yes.
Okay.
So you'll see why. So your cruise destination is blank. Because what it's doing is it's just spacing out.
So I can put the city, I can put the destination in, but do not select any component. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so basically what it's doing is it's taking 10 nights and just leaving it blank. So it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
And now you would add additional destination if you wanted a post night. So maybe they're returning back to Galveston, Texas, or wherever other major cruise ports are. So you would just put that here. I'm going to do Miami because I know Miami has one. Then you would do your number of nights you want for your post night. Again, could be a different number of nights that you want. I'm choosing one. So the key thing here is removing the flight because you're not going to need a flight back from the cruise ship.
Okay.
Keep your hotel. I'm going to remove the rental car. And now from here, again, I can change return city if I want to. And let's hit search so you can see how that looks. And it'll make sense when you see it.
Because I was doing either pre or post, but I was having a hard time doing both. Like,
Oh yeah.
this seems to be yeah.
And I'll send this to you in a link too when I send you the video and everything. So you can just click on it and it'll take you to our self-help library. It'll give you a small little video of it or step-by-step instructions. So I'm not going to worry about any of the flights. So this is how it'll look. Destination 1, you have your one night, your pre-night stay. Destination 2 is blank, and it's spaced it out from the 18th through the 28th. So that's the 10 nights that they were on their cruise. If it's 7 nights, you would have put 7 nights. 2 weeks, you would have put 2 weeks. And then destination 3 is your post night. So it's a really cool option. This way you don't have to go to other areas or maybe make other reservations to get your clients this one package for their flights and their hotels. And I will send you this link for the pre and post.
And we can add travel protection to that as well, right?
Sure can.
So if I have something like this and destination number 2, they're in that time period where they're in destination number 2, and my client falls and breaks their ankle and needs some little bit of medical care, are they still covered in the travel protection?
The travel protection does offer during travel benefits. So
right.
I would recommend.
Even though the hotel they're staying at is not listed, but it is from start to finish, because it's within that?
Basically, yes. I mean, it's for the destination. So that might be something that you want to check out to where it covers our products. So I know for sure it would cover while they're in Miami for their post nights and pre nights. My recommendation, or on their cruise, my recommendation, click on the Travel Protection Plus. And let's see if there's anything. And click on the full plan details. It'll give you the specifics because it's going to ask you to fill out some information here and view it on here. I can send you the link so you can just pull it up and not have to look.
No, I know where to look for it. I just wasn't sure because it covered the during travel covered stuff, and I thought I read that it did. I just wanted to get that. I just wanted to be for sure.
See, for me, I wouldn't think it wouldn't cover anything outside of us.
But I know that it wouldn't cover, like, say, if they stayed, if they booked a different hotel in Jamaica, because it's not part of the travel impression. But what I'm saying is the during travel, the medical coverage, because it starts on the day they leave and then it ends on the day they get back.
Yes. So if they got sick during their cruise,
yeah,
I don't think it would cover that. Because that is not part of a travel impression. The cruise isn't part of a travel impression booking.
Okay.
So I would recommend checking this out and see if that has anything in there for it. But
yeah, but I'm not thinking any cruise. I'm meaning like, say, for example, they're in Miami 5 nights, but only use the hotel 2 nights. So the 3 nights Like, is it from, like, around, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about refunds, I'm talking about the medical part of it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's a good question. I don't have the full details on that, just because technically they're not in our product yet. They took the flight, but if they're with family, that might be something completely different. If it was during their vacation at a resort, yes, it would cover it. But if they're choosing to go elsewhere outside of our air and hotel options, I don't think it would cover it. But I am not 100% sure. I can ask our insurance underwriter about that when I get back to the office, maybe tomorrow or Monday.
Yeah, I can call insurance because it's something that I am curious because, you know, I want my clients to be protected. If they purchase a travel protection and they're going on vacation and then, like, for example, like I gave you the scenario, you know, they depart from the destination one day and they're staying only a few nights on a booked hotel and they're staying 2 nights with a relative and then they're going off to another city, staying 3 nights somewhere else and then coming back home. But in those 2 nights that they're with the relative and something were to happen to them, you know, they're going to assume, well, I'm protected. I have my child protection. So that's why I want to make sure that if they're not, that I say, well, you're not protected in those 2 days, so we need to buy you a separate policy for that.
That's a very good question. No one's ever brought anything like that up. So, I mean, I can definitely research that for you. That wouldn't be a problem. But just.
I think it's something good to know so that, especially right now with all the coronavirus scare and everybody's all frightened and they think they're covered when they're not and they covered only this. And, you know what I mean? Like, I would like to know that if I buy the travel protection, is it kind of like a little umbrella from the period they leave home to the time they come back? If there's a part of in there that they're not, you know, that they're kind of on their own or they didn't buy that hotel room, but everything's still covered medically, not anything else, you know?
Yeah, I'll definitely find that out for you, and I'll let you know probably by sometime tomorrow.
Okay.
I just got to ask Carrie. She's the one that deals with the insurance part of things.
Yeah, and just give her that, like, scenario, like what I said, you know? Like, they have multi-destination, but in 1 week they're not staying. They're taking 2 nights to go visit somebody they know, a friend, and that's when something unfortunate were to happen. Are they still technically covered under the medical, under the on travel, you know, or
the during travel benefits? Yeah.
Yeah, you've got you've got travel protection while on travel, except for these 2 particular days. Like, I don't want to mislead anybody because that opens you up for, well, you didn't tell me. You didn't explain that. I'm going to sue you now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. It's a very good question. So I'll find that out for you, and I'll let you know there. So next thing I want to cover is a new enhancement, the multi-origin. So that's customers leaving from one city, another couple leaving from another city, sharing the same room.
Yes, and I think that is a fabulous thing to be able to do now directly. And then I know when I get to clients that wants to do that, but
multiple destinations. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's actually very easy to book.
Okay.
So you're just gonna change your package type to multiple origin air shared hotel.
Now, can I give you a real case scenario that happened to me on this, and I couldn't get it, I just couldn't figure it out, so I ended up booking outside.
Sure.
And see if maybe you can tell me where I went wrong. Okay, origin. You've got 3 people leaving from El Paso, Texas, going to Seattle.
Okay.
July 15th.
Okay. Okay, so how long do they need the flights for?
The flight is going to, they're coming back on, let's see, select the calendar, like into the date, on the 24th.
Okay. So you're always going to book airfare first. So when you choose this multiple origin air shared hotel, you're just going to put in your origin and your destination, the number of people you need from this specific gateway. So once we hit search, we're going to select the components that we need. Seattle might not be the best one for this demonstration because of the different types of hotels. There's a lot of direct link hotels that may not pull via this option. So you're going to.
This is a real life one.
Yep.
I really try to do this.
So.
I only needed hotel for 2 nights.
Which is fine. So you're going to select your outbound flights first. So you're going to select your flights, whatever you want. So the flights aren't that great, so let's do morning flights. I'm going to stay away from Southwest just because we pay for that even with no money. Let's do this American flight. So an important thing as well is if they want the travel protection, to put it on for their flights, on their flight portion. Otherwise, if you don't put it on their flight portion, the deposits might not be accurate.
So how come you said you didn't want to choose the Southwest flight?
Well, us at Apple Leisure Group's Vacations, even without any money on it, we already pay the airline. So.
Oh, but not Southwest.
Well, we pay Southwest. Even if we put a reservation on hold with customers not giving us any money, we already pay Southwest Airlines.
Okay. So Southwest Airlines is like, where I'm from, where I'm at, it's the best, it gives me the best prices and the best routes. I'm in El Paso, Texas, and it's the only one that really works for my gateway.
Yeah, and El Paso is huge for Southwest. It's just for booking purposes, I don't like to use Southwest because my reservations don't auto cancel.
Oh, I see.
So if we're past that 24-hour mark, yeah, we're hit with that airfare cost.
Okay. So you're just showing me just for right now for demo.
Yep, it's the same thing whether you use it for Southwest Airlines. If you pick a Southwest Airlines flight, it's the same thing.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and hit checkout. All right, so let me go ahead, put in some names. Passenger 2. And you're going to hit book. So we have our flights booked from the people from El Paso to Seattle, the 15th through the 24th. Anytime you use this multiple origin package ID, you will get this pop-up right here saying this package requires a hotel.
Right.
So you would just hit add party. You'd book your airfare for whoever's coming from a different gateway. Did you have a different gateway?
Yeah, there's 3 of them coming from Raleigh. this is where it got tricky. They want a total of 2 rooms because it's a total of 6 of them, but 2 of them are staying in one room and 4 in the other.
That's perfectly fine. Well, what I'll do, instead of booking fake seats for 3 other people, we'll do it for 1, and then we'll just do 2 rooms for the hotel. Same procedure. Either way.
But you're doing for 1 and nobody flights.
I'm only doing this for procedure-wise. I don't want to always book fake tickets. But the procedure is going to be the same. We're going to just do the airfare on this one. And then when we complete this 1 airfare, we're going to do 1 hotel. For 2 rooms, we're going to do double in each room. But the procedure is going to be the same whether they want 4 in one room, 2 in the other, 1 in 3, whatever it may be.
What my problem was is that I was selecting 2 rooms here, and it was giving me 3 rooms. And when I would try to select 1 room, it would only give me 1 room. I wasn't able to get into 2 rooms.
Well, let's book the flight and see what we can come up with. Let's book the flight and then get to the hotel portion of it. And so we're just going to book flight and my travel protection. All right, let's go here. So it shouldn't have done that. It shouldn't make a difference whether you want 1 room or 2 or 3.
I think when you just select 1 room, the computer's thinking, okay, you're merging these people into 1 room. And when I selected 2, then it's thinking, okay, so you want 2 for these people. It was weird because I even called. I was on the phone for like an hour, and the girl who told me, she even called somebody else. Like, I just don't know. That's why I was trying to give you this particular example so we can see if maybe we just did something wrong or if it's just.
So you selected the number of rooms, right?
Yeah, but not for 9 nights.
Nope. So what nights did they want?
2 nights.
Let's go ahead and hit search. So now we're going to select our hotel. All right, let me find. What hotel were you looking at?
I think the Hampton downtown or something. Yeah, that one's the first one. So okay, so then you selected the hotel room.
So I have 2 rooms here. I'm not going to book it though, because it's a non-refundable room.
So you changed the room. So okay, remember when you went back to select how many people in the flight and it said rooms there? Right there is where you don't do anything with rooms, because that's where I was switching it over.
Yeah, you don't do anything with rooms.
Okay, so that, okay, see, because that's why I was selecting it, and when it would come into the screen, it was showing me 3 rooms.
That could be the reason why. But yeah, always do your airfare first, and it'll avoid that problem. So don't put in the number of rooms that you need because you're not booking your hotel first.
And when I go back into the hotels underneath the ad hotel, then right there I can put in.
Yes. So.
The rooms and put 2. I had 2 adults in one and 4 adults in the other.
Yep. So let me click on discard changes. And that'll retrieve our reservation number. So I can click on the first tab or stay on my current tab and click on Add Party.
See right there where it says room?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I had put 2 rooms because I was like, well, I need 2 rooms total.
Yeah, and that's so now if we're booking the rooms, because you're selecting each individual component. So because we already have our flights booked, now we just need the hotel. We switched our dates for those 2 nights. So we have 4 people airfare. I'm going to do 4 on the land. This would be the only time you can do more people on the land than airfare. So if you have 5 people, you can do 3 and 3 here if you want, whatever it may be. So when you hit search now, this is where we would be able to select whatever components that we want. So let's get this to pop up. If I wanted to look at flights, I would click on flights. But we're just looking at the hotels. So we have our 2 rooms. So let's click on a different room category and just go to checkout. All right, so we have room 1 up here. We scroll down. All right, where's our second room? There's a lot of room categories. All right, I'm about to give up. Room 2, there we go. And all these are different promotions. This is a direct link hotel, so we don't actually have any say what they load in. So that's why we have so many different room categories.
I know, it's crazy sometimes when I'm looking at these things because I'm like, well, what's the difference? What's the difference? Why is the price different?
Yep. So one thing is when you do the multiple origin, because you're booking your travel protection on your initial tabs for your airfare, you're going to decline it on the hotel. And now from here, you would book your adults. We got room 1, room 2. So I wonder if on that initial screen you put in like 2 rooms, 3 adults, or 2 adults and 1, and then it pulled in the room when you thought of it that way. So you don't.
I don't know, but yeah, that's why I was hoping to do it exactly the way so I could, see what I did wrong.
It's the same thing. It wouldn't matter if we had 5 people on that other one. But yeah, just select your hotel when you get to the hotel. So just do your flights first. And that's how we train it, because if you don't do your flights first, or you don't add the travel protection onto the airfare, the deposits could be inaccurate.
Now, let me ask you this. What if this is like a big group and somebody's using their points and so they don't need to fly, but they just want to stay in the same room? So I can have more people than flights, right?
Yes.
On a reservation. Okay.
Yep, you could do that where if you wanted the 3 on the airfare, 4 on the hotel or whatever, you would just do your airfare first for those 3 people. And then on your land portion, you would do your add party. And then just the amount of people you want on the land. So then you wouldn't have another flight on there. And it would still meet the requirements. Yep. So it'd still meet the booking requirements of having a land portion on here. But yes, you can do that.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Sorry for my. What is this? What is that? But it's because I get the weirdest.
Yeah, you don't hear many people with multi-destination, multi-origin.
Yeah, I know. And then I got this one, and I was like, oh, right when you think you got it all covered, you get something else. So
it's a weird one. I mean, without being able to see what happened on that call, I wouldn't be able to tell you. That's only what I can think what happened. But during all the
one for the Seattle was it was that it was I think we were selecting the room where it says at party, you know, I had put because if you leave it alone, then it only gives you an option for 1 room. But then when we changed it to 2 rooms, then it was giving us 3 rooms, and we're like, oh, but we only need the 2. But I think it's because we were selecting the room where it asked you know, the departure and the arrival.
Yeah.
That's where when we went wrong. We should have just left it alone, and then when it added the flight, then we go to the hotel and then add. But then I'm like, there might, you know, maybe it shouldn't be a box there to begin with if we don't need to add anything there. But then maybe it's because what if they don't have flights and they're only, I don't know.
Yeah. So that is strange. I was one of the people that helped test this product and get it to push through, and I mean, we did thousands of different scenarios, and anytime that we switched it to multiple rooms, we never saw an issue with it. So that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
So if you ever get that scenario again and you see it happen on your end, take a screenshot, send it over to me, and we can set something up. Well, yeah, I just don't want to book all these seats. I normally do one of each city, just because we're booking all this space. But yeah, so I mean, our time is basically running up. I did have some other stuff I wanted to go over with you. So I mean, I don't know if you have extra time or if you want me to send you some links. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull up our land-only reservation I created earlier today. And we're gonna, oh, that's not the right room or reservation number because I put O's and Oscars instead of zeros. So it's always zeros. So I made a reservation a little bit earlier. So let me go ahead and we're going to focus on this modifications change component. So it sounds like you've had a lot of scenarios, so I'm pretty sure you've done these. Changing your hotel, changing your room category, doing the best price guarantee. So the best price guarantee is new with travel impressions. If your land portion goes down, you can reselect it for the lower rate for your customers. And then you can always add it to commission or whatever it may be.
So that is something that I have to go in there and look to see, right?
Yes.
If it went down?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested in learning how to do this because I want to make sure I get it right.
And it's pretty simple. So we're going to focus on a couple of these things, and it's going to fall under the same functionalities for everything. So you're going to click hotels. And let's go to the hotel that I had. I had the Rio Palace, I believe. And I didn't want to use the filtered just because I wanted to show you. So we have our current selection right here. It'll tell you what your current selection is. It'll tell you your current room category because it says current right here. You see this plus sign right here? It says plus 854.
Yeah.
So that means the rate is $8.54 higher than I originally booked. It would say a minus sign if it was lower. So let's see if there's another comparison. So Rio Ocho Rios, it's lower 305. So that's how it would look if your existing room category was lower in cost. So in this case, because it's higher, we wouldn't actually make the change.
Now, would I be allowed to, if they said, you want a different hotel, and we saw it for the long run, would I be allowed to change that to the Rio?
Yeah. Yep. So it's all the same as far as the procedure. So we're just going to hit select. So if your original room category is lower, you're going to hit select. If you want to upgrade your room category, you hit select. If you want to change to that lower hotel, you just hit select. So it's all the same. And then it will take you to your itinerary summary screen. So if you're going in there being proactive for yourself on that best price guarantee, you can add it back in as commission.
Right. Another $50.
Yep, $50. Yep, there you go. If you ever need to remove an agency fee, just put a 0.00. Hit set commission. And then you would just proceed through checkout and changing it at the end. So let me remove my travel protection here real quick. So now you can change your features if you want to. So if you want to add features, you can add features, remove features. The one thing you can do is, this has started maybe early November. You can add the travel protection onto a reservation that you made payment on within 7 days of that initial deposit, or up until 45 days, which is when final payment is due. So whichever comes first. So for example, exactly. So for example, we're 105 days out from departure right here. We would have 7 days to add it after you apply deposit. If we were per se at 50 days, we would have 5 days to add it because final payment is due at 45 days.
Okay, yeah.
You can also add travel protection for less the number of people. So if you pull up your features and just hit add to cart, it would be add to cart. You can select the number of people you want, and you can hit add to cart for the one person.
You can add.
So it's for less the party size.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't make much sense to do it that way, but people do it.
Yeah.
And then how you would book it is at the checkout screen. And anytime you have land only with transfers on there, it'll ask you for the flight information. You can put it in here with the 2-character carrier code followed by the flight number. You just plug in the times. If you don't have it, just click right here. If you add it already and then you go back in to do modifications, you don't always have to re-add it. You can just click on I don't have. So for the travel protection, it's going to ask you for which passenger it's for. You would just use the drop down and select who it's for. And with all modifications, nothing is changed until you hit complete itinerary change. Once we click on complete itinerary change, it's going to proceed through making those changes. Those are probably some of the easier modifications that you can do. Another modification that we can do, this is new as of last week, you can add airfare to the hotel, only reservation. A lot of times you may get people that book a year out, but the flights aren't available that far out. Well, instead of making a new booking, giving us a call, adding the airfare, you can do it in VAX. One thing to keep in mind is it does, or a couple things, it does rebook your hotel with the current promotions and rates. So, yep. So it's very important. So if they had $500 resort credits and it's no longer active because it was an early booking bonus or whatever, it may not be valid. So that's up to you and the customers to say, hey, is the $200 savings maybe worth it? So any special service requests that you enter as well would have to be re-entered. So, yeah, basically you're making an air and hotel reservation as of that date.
But just without any penalties, right? Without any, they're not losing anything. They're not losing the travel protection.
No. No, and even if you called in for that, we wouldn't charge that because you're adding value to a reservation. We wouldn't charge any penalty for that. Another important thing is with land only, we all know that you may not need the names exactly as it is on the passport. So if Christine went by Chris and she put down Chris here, on land only, it's not a big deal. But with airfare, it is.
Yeah.
So, yep. So let's go ahead and add airfare. I'll show you how to do it. Did Anthony show you within groups?
No.
All right, so that's something you can do in groups too. There's this add air button right here under your modifications. It only gives you one package type, and you put your departure city. So let's do El Paso. So now you hit search, and it'll pull up our flights.
Are you in Milwaukee?
I am.
I was living there last year.
Why?
My
Such a boring area.
My significant other, it works out of Milwaukee, so we had a condo over there, but I came back to El Paso.
Okay, what part of Milwaukee?
Wauwatosa, right off of State Street.
I know where Wauwatosa is. Yeah, I'm about 25 minutes north of downtown Milwaukee in a little city called Cedarburg.
Okay.
So
I wanted to go. I saw the offices around downtown one day. I was passing by, and I'm like, I should stop in and meet people, but I just never got around to it.
yeah, so our offices are just a little bit north of downtown, right on Brown Deer Road and Port Road. We got 3 large buildings. Yeah, that would have been nice. We get agencies that come by quite a bit.
Maybe I should go next time I'm in town.
If you do, let us know. We'll be happy to take you out to lunch or something. Even though there's really not much to eat around the office. There's a few places, but not a ton. So we're going to just select our flights. I don't like these next day arrivals, but...
No, you see how
Yeah. Yeah. So it would be the same thing if you wanted a Southwest flight, just book your Southwest flight. The one thing I want to point out is on this next screen. So let's wait for the checkout page. There we go. So it's pulling your names through from your land only reservation. So I can't change the names. So it's important to change the name prior to adding airfare.
Okay. So, and you would do that by going into
I'll show you that I'll show you that in just a few moments. So the reason why that's important is we all know airlines have different policies as far as name changes. So, or name corrections. So some allow it, some don't, some charge a fee. So it's important to correct the name prior to adding airfare. But in order to add the airfare, just enter the date of birth and the gender, and that's all you need. Then you would go down, complete itinerary change. I do not want to do that, so let's see if I have, nope, I don't have my discard button. So let's re-pull it. So when we pull this up, you'll notice that airfare is not added because obviously I didn't put in the dates of birth or the name or the gender, but I didn't complete the itinerary change. So let's say for this example, Christine, she doesn't have this last name on her passport. It's actually her maiden name. You're going to go under modifications, change PAX info. And you can do this for land only or those exclusive nonstop flights. Scheduled airfare, you're not going to be able to change any of the name information. We're going to select the passenger who it's for. And now from here, we can correct it. We can do a complete change if we want, whatever it may be. You're going to go ahead and hit change. Up, here we go again. Land only with transfers. Since we already entered it, I'm going to hit right there. So you notice the correction up here now. It's now Chris Smith. Now we would go down, complete the itinerary change if we want to make that change. And let's wait for this to update, and you'll see the correction done. There we go. Name changed.
Okay. And then at that point, then we can go ahead and...
Now we can add the airfare. Yep. So those are really... I have not added the airfare yet. But it's important. I wanted to show you adding the airfare first, so you can see how we don't actually have to reselect those names and then go back in and do the modification to the name. So those are the big components of the add airfare. Is it does rebook the hotel at the current rates and availability. If it's not available, or if it's one of those like deal of the day room categories with an AM resort, you'll get a little pop-up that says your room's not available to be rebooked. Then you'll have to give us a call, and then we can add it. We would just basically put it on a new tab for you because we won't be able to rebook the land, or we may have to go to the hotel, see if they'll allow us to open up the room and rebook it for you. So those are the key things for the add air function. Is that pretty, do you understand that pretty good?
Yeah, I see where I need to go. And then, so once you add the air, the hotel changes price, I can go back in there and try to find something similar or in the category to get it pretty much the same price if it were to be a substantial difference?
You can do whatever you want to the hotel. You can change hotels, upgrade room categories, go to a lower room category. Typically what happens is if we booked this today, if we booked a land only today and an air and hotel rate today, the land is going to be lower on the air and hotel because you have a package rate.
If you have a package rate, right? And okay, so say they had okay, this scenario, they reserved it today. In 4 months from now, they've already almost paid off. They only owe $50 on the reservation, and now they're wanting to add the airfare, and so now the new balance is, whatever, $1,000 again. But that original payment just gets applied, right? They still only owe.
Yes, basically everything will. Yeah, everything carries over. So the only thing is if they just paid maybe the $50 per person deposit, it will require the rest of the deposit to be paid for at that time. If they have more than the required deposit, then you're fine. If it's within that 45 days, you just have to pay whatever the balance is. So yeah, if they have enough to cover the deposit, you'll be able to make the change because there's enough funds on there. So it's not creating a new reservation number or anything. All it's doing is it's making a new tab like we did on our multi-origin for air hotel package, canceling out this one. That's essentially what it's doing. I guess that's the best way to explain it. So yeah, and it's a lot of information, but we're really excited about these new enhancements and everything like that. We're just looking to come up with more and more all the time. We're looking for recommendations. We put things on a kind of a list for exceptions to see if we can get that on the list for 2020. We're really excited about a lot of the things with Travel Impressions and all the other ALGV brands with how many new things that have come out since November. All because of you guys. Okay. You guys gave us your feedback and we listened. So thank you guys for that. So what I'll do from here is you already did your training with Anthony. So it will be Clint. Clint's going to do the follow-up with you to kind of go over like a scorecard review and everything like that. So just respond to his email saying you're almost graduated or whatever it says. And he'll set up a time with you to go over your scorecard and everything like that. I probably won't get you your video this afternoon. I'll get it probably sent over tomorrow morning. And I'll include some of those links for you as well. I'll find out about that during travel protection on that one scenario that we had, and I'll follow up with you on that.
Yeah, that's good. That way, like I said, I just want to make sure my client thinks they're protected, that they actually are, and if there's somewhere that they're not, that I can explain, that then they can buy a third party for one day or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep, completely agree with you. It was a great question. So, yeah, just let me know as well if you need anything. Either one of us, Anthony, Clint, myself, we're happy to help you out with whatever you need. We all do the same thing, so we just take different sections. So if you need help with groups, let's say, and Anthony's not there, let myself know, let Clint know, whatever it may be, and vice versa. So just reach out, let us know what you need.
Okay, one more question. I know that Clint had told me about signing up for some bonus points and stuff like that, but I don't know if she said somebody was going to reach out to me, or I was supposed to call somebody, or if there's like a link I'm supposed to click to get registered. Can you kind of give me a little refresher on that?
For bonus points? Or signing up for waves?
Yes, that.
Yeah, so basically waves, you don't really have to sign up for anything. So have you made a reservation within VAX?
Yeah, I think so.
did you receive an email for a sign up and everything like that?
I don't remember.
So yeah, you would have received an email with everything. They do have some bonus points here. So did you ever create a username or a password in this screen?
You know what? Oh no, it doesn't look familiar. Well, let me try to do that right now. Travel impressions. And then the agent report wave.
Yep.
Press wave. And then, okay.
So let me know if you get anything.
And I have invalid credentials.
Okay. So we have a couple options here. So probably what happened is that temporary password's no longer there. So we can do right down here. You can email or you can call, or what I can do is I can follow up with the Waves department. It'll probably be quicker if you do it, but I can definitely send something over to them.
Yeah, maybe I answered my information wrong too.
So it would just be your ARC that you use in Vax, your username, and then whatever your password would be for Waves.
Okay, so the password for Waves is not going to be the same as
when
I logged in with that?
No.
So should I just do reset password?
You can do reset password.
Okay. So then I should get an email and it'll be good for 72 hours. I'll wait for it.
Yep. So if you don't get that, let us know. We'll reach out to them and get that done for you.
Okay. And then they'll be able to load in my past booking so that I get whatever points I have coming to me.
I believe that they would it automatically gets loaded on there, I believe.
Okay.
So it's all automated. So, and it's there's a nice little tutorial in that Waves area as well on how to navigate through there. I mean, basically, it's like a banking website where it tells you your amount of points you've received, how to convert it over to maybe a discounted vacation, convert it over to a virtual visa. Nice thing is, no 1099s on it, because with the vacation portions of things, it will require a $1 payment. So the most that you'll pay is $1 if you don't have enough Waves points to cover the entire trip. But it would require $1, and that's how we were able to get away with having those tax forms.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Right. Just start making the bookings, and you'll generate your Waves points, and then there you go. So yeah, if you don't get anything, let me know.
No, yeah, I am. Now it's saying I have 0 points, so I guess I'll call them and say they can pull it in.
Yep, or just shoot them an email, whatever's convenient for you.
Okay.
And then if you need something, let us know. Myself, Clint, or Anthony, we're here for you, and I'll get you all that information sent over by tomorrow.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and thank you for your patience.
Oh, my pleasure. No, hey, questions are good.
Okay.
But it was a pleasure to talk with you today, and you as well. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Take care.